everybody, and welcome to another episode of How the Hell Is This My Life? I am your host, Kiki Carroll.
And I'm your host, crazy, Asha Brown.
She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. And I've been waiting all day to say this. Happy Melanin March. That's what it is. That's what it is. Because I've been thinking about it. Like, okay, so like Black History Month has closed, like February is over, but you know, it's like lifestyle, like it is an everyday, like you live it, breathe it, that's what it is. And then somebody on TikTok said, welcome to Melanin March. And I was like, yes, that is correct. Yeah. So we're in March now, happy March, and it's also National Women's Month. So that's, we just got both categories.
I know. I mean, I just think that the world should just stop fighting it and just give me the whole year. Just call it the year of Asha, because I just feel like, yeah, I mean, I have, you know, we got Black History Month and then we got Women's History Month. Somewhere down the line, there's Hispanic Heritage Month. And I just personally feel like I am an honorary Dominican. Like, I can claim all the months. Just don't make a white man month, because then, oh, wait. I'm about to marry one. Listen, I'm just saying, everybody needs to just keep giving me reasons to celebrate. I'm a fan.
I love it. I'm excited though. I mean, there's a lot going on in March. We just got out of the Golden Globes, and there was some movies that came out like right on the cusp of March, right? Because like United States versus Billie Holiday.
Yeah.
Like that was amazing. And Andrea Day, she deserved everything she got. But I'm not even gonna lie, I'm so hyped for Friday. I'm so hyped for Friday because of Coming to America 2. I'm ready. Like it's gonna be a whole situation in this house. But also then on Sunday is Oprah Winfrey's interview with Harry and Meghan Markle, and I'm here for that. Like that's popcorn worthy too.
Oh yeah.
I'm so ready. Do you watch The Crown?
No, I don't. I haven't started it yet, so no spoilers allowed. I will be watching it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Who will always give me spoilers, so don't do it.
I know. But that's a good one. Okay, so if you're listening and you're wanting something to binge and you have not, binge. I mean, a lot of people kind of know the history of the royal family because it's such a public family. But well, like they're in the public eye, but maybe binge season 4 right before the interview. I think it'll be more impactful. I really do. Because having watched season 4, I'm like, oh, I'm ready for some dirt. Tell me what it's really like in the royal family, because it's crazy. So that's happening. Oh yeah, and then like you have like your shower number 2.
I do. Shower number 2.
Okay, so how was, though, I haven't talked to you since you got back from Florida, really. Yeah. So like, how was shower number 1?
Shower number 1 was wonderful. Okay. So they pulled off such a beautiful shower. I mean, obviously the best part of it was definitely like seeing my family. I had a friend who came from, she and I are the reason we got through college. Like and we haven't seen each other. We calculated it's been like a solid 8 years since we've seen each other. So she actually drove all the way up from like Miami to come to my shower, which was beautiful. So my family all being there was the best part for sure. But like, you know, Shatayla, shout out my matron of honor. She transformed her backyard into a nod to Bridesmaids, the movie, and the scene where she has her bridal shower. And I even had the big cookie. It wasn't as big as the cookie in the movie, but yeah. Oh, it was great. It was really.
Did you destroy it?
I did not destroy it, and unless we're talking about with my teeth, because I will be eating that entire cookie myself. Fun fact, when I was turning 22, I remember I was turning 22 because I kept singing the 22 song from Taylor Swift. My dad had sent us all on a cruise, right? So for my 22nd birthday, Shatayla was like, hey, like, what do you want for your birthday? I want to bake you something. And I was like, well, I don't like cake. I really love shortbread cookies though. So if you could just like make me shortbread cookies, that'd be great. So she actually made me a huge shortbread cookie and brought it when we went to board our boat for the cruise. Lo and behold, you can't take food with you on the boat. We had never been on a cruise, so we really actually didn't realize that. And so we begged them to let me take my cookie that she just gifted me onto the freaking boat. They said no. So I had to literally like scarf down like the whole corner of the cookie, but there was still like, it was a huge cookie. So I never got to finish my shortbread cookie that she got me when I was 22. And now 7 years later, I got my shortbread cookie and I'm going to eat the whole freaking thing. But anyways, the theme was so cute. It was adorable. I was obsessed with like, they made like a gazebo with like, there was a couch that she specifically got for this. And it had like black and white stripes, which I mean, if you cannot tell, totally my vibe, with pops of pink everywhere. So there was like pink sequins on the tables. There was hot pink pillows on the couch with a striped cover, and just like glitter tulle everywhere. There were even flowers in the ice cubes. Just saying.
Nice.
I'm just saying the details.
Nice.
On freaking point. And my mom cooked, which we all know that I am obsessed with my mom's cooking. I requested Jamaican food and I got it, honey. Still got some leftovers in the fridge. Thank God that we drove home. Yeah, it was literally just like the bridal shower out of a dream. And it was like literally me. If I had just like just me everywhere. It was wonderful. And, you know, it was just fun to spend time with my family and everybody get lit and tipsy, including my mom. She was lit for sure, but she deserved it because she was up all night cooking. So
yeah,
it was really awesome, to be honest. It was really great. I enjoyed it.
I think it's like an adrenaline rush for our mothers too, because they're so excited for us and like they're filled with their own type of genuine joy. Like I feel like weddings are like graduations for mothers. Because it's not like when you graduate from school, because like you can still move back in with me, you know. Like when you get married, it's like no.
Right. My mom said multiple times. She's like, I just hope that Michael knows that you're his problem now. Yeah. Like you're his problem now.
You know, so I feel like they have their own type of joy around it that makes them want to dance and knock back a champagne or two, some bubbly, you know. Which I get
also for her, she's not here in New York, and so I'm super excited for New York shower, and she's gonna be there. But as far as like hands-on helping to plan and feel like she's a part of it, I think that this was a great opportunity also for her, which to me, and I know it's not important to everybody, but for me, my mom being happy throughout this process is extremely important. So like her getting to actually do something for the shower was really that within itself. Like I got emotional multiple times. I'm pretty sure Shatayla got videos of me crying because it happens and I have overactive tear ducts. So just let me live. But yeah, it was really crazy. Also, have not seen my oldest sister in a really long time. She lives in Georgia. She came as well, which when I saw her, my jaw like almost fell off of my face. And it was just even some of the family that was there have never seen us together. And they were all like, wow, this makes sense. I was like, yes, that's why I wish I saw her more, because she and I are like it all makes sense when you meet her, you'll understand.
I'm excited. Were they like having like tons of questions about the wedding? Were they like, hey, when do we get our invitations? Where are we staying? Where are we going? Like
a couple of people did ask that. And I think that's honestly been one of the most eye-opening things for me as a bride is just, I mean, I guess I anticipated it because I know I have a huge family, but like planning a wedding when you have a family as large as mine is a situation and a half. Just off like right off the bat, you're having to do more invitations. And so you have to really think about like budget wise, like I'm spending a lot of money on invites, which is why we didn't do save the dates, because I was like, I'm not going to do save the dates and then also do invites for all 2,000 bajillion of my family.
Right.
Especially because when you have a family as big as mine, you don't have the luxury of there being no drama. There is always going to be drama. Always. My bridal shower alone, it was like, I'm like, where's so-and-so? Where's so-and-so? this person the issue with this person, and this person don't want to be there because this. Excuse me. This is not for nobody else but Ma. So thank you. So yeah, I just think after the bridal shower, I just have more thinking to do. But anyways, it's the situation, and that's why the invites have not reached everyone yet, because it's a lot of people to be reached. So we're working on that.
You have time though. I mean, some of the guys I see say that like it's 60 days out you send like, you know, so
like because we didn't do save the dates, that's why I was like, I don't want to go by what I see in like what I see in timelines of other things. But it's also like, it just the size of your invite list for all my brides out there who are just starting. The size of your invite list literally increases the labor of everything. So it's like, and also, you know, it's COVID. And so like, yes, I'm not expecting every single person to show up, but you still have to kind of make sure that there is accommodation in case everyone who gets invited does show up. The chances of that happening is slim, but you want to make sure that you're prepared for anything. So it's kind of just been like an interesting process, if you will. And I have had lots of stuff appear in the noggin, hence why I have not gone to the gym and started my wedding fitness journey. So we're just gonna breathe past that. And how's yours going?
I was totally gonna ask you, like, how did it go with your trainer? And
it didn't go.
That's okay though. That's okay though, because I really like, I didn't fall off. But I like kind of had like a small setback with my ankle. So I always like, when I used to run for like half marathons and whatever, I always used to have like a flare up in my right ankle. And I even did like physical therapy for it one year, like after I ran a full marathon. And it always it's just like a tightness and like a shooting pain, and it just kind of like engulfs my foot up to the front of my ankle, to the point where like in the middle of the night, if I try and get out of the bed to go to the bathroom, even like I can't put my heel on the ground. And I know that I have this issue sometimes, and it's a combination. Whenever it flares up, it's my own darn fault. It's like a bad combination of not wearing the proper footwear when I'm doing certain activities. You know, prime example, dancing to Baby Shark with a 35-pound child on my right hip, barefoot on hardwood floors for longer than 15 minutes without alternating hips. What was I thinking? I don't know. But the next day I remembered I should have been thinking, and it wasn't so bad that I couldn't put my heel on, but I did like pull out my compression sleeve for my ankle. I did kind of like talk to Lauren, who's been training me, and tell her what was going on. I took a couple extra more rest days in, I think it's week 8. So like I took a couple more rest days in there. I did still work out with her on Tuesday when I normally train with her. It's either Tuesdays or Thursdays. It depends on her schedule, but I did make that workout. I did go to your class. I have a infrared sauna blanket that's really good for muscle recovery, but also like if you stay in it long enough, you sweat out some pounds. And I on like some rest days, since I wasn't doing like physical activity, there was 2 days that I like subbed that in just to kind of feel like I was still doing something. Like I didn't want to just work out those 2 days, even though like mentally I know I needed that break on that ankle, needed that break. I just kind of felt like if I completely stopped doing stuff beyond that, like 2 days wasn't enough. And I know myself, I struggle with consistency. So I was like, I feel like if I don't, then when those 2 days are done, then I'm just gonna sit on my couch and eat crunch cake. And like Louisiana crunch cake is my kryptonite right now, that and Doritos. And so I was like, I'm just gonna sit on my couch and do that. And all of my hard work.
I love how you just like slip that in there at the end, that and Doritos. Yeah. And then
I knew that I needed to do a little bit more, and I'm glad that I did. My ankle's feeling much better now. I have your class tomorrow. I have homework that Lauren gave me since we didn't actually work out today. We're working out on Thursday. So I have homework that she gave me and I'll be using that. And I'm glad. I mean, you can't lose your gains in a week, right? But you can lose your momentum in a week. And I was worried about that. And I think because I was aware, I was all right. But I wasn't very happy with my performance. And another thing that happened is when I started like slacking on that, I my energy level was a little down because I wasn't working out as much. Like my endorphins weren't up from that. And not gonna lie, like after work a couple of nights, I forgot to take my afternoon set of vitamins and I felt it. You know, like, so if I had any question about whether or not taking those vitamins was like actually like invigorating my life, I have no doubts now because I really felt it. Like it wasn't just because you didn't work out that day. It was like a whole combination. And I was like, yeah, this combination that I've got going right now, I kind of started slacking on that. There's been some like morning affirmations I've been telling myself. There have been some tweaks that I've been doing in my dieting. I've been drinking more water. I've been taking those vitamins twice a day, a women's health vitamin, multivitamin, and my In the Mood vitamins. And I've been doing collagen powder in my warmer drinks. Like if I do like an afternoon English breakfast tea, or if I have a hot morning coffee, which is rare, I tend to like iced coffee. But if I have a hot morning coffee, I do that at least like 3 to 4 times a week. I don't do collagen every day. But during that like stretch where I was resting more and I only physically did like a workout twice, I kind of fell off on the other areas too. And I was like, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that that combination, I had found my sweet spot. So like, I'm back on it. Like with the vitamins, I got my water, you know, I'm back on it. And I really didn't fall off the wagon essentially because I didn't completely stop doing everything, but I wasn't doing it at the rate that I was. So it's my little accountability check. I know what I did. I know what I didn't do. And I know that my body was like, what is going on? Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is not the Kiki that's been like just going out and living her best life these past 8 weeks. So I'm really excited to work out tomorrow and go to your class. Cause I kind of felt like I had a reason to give 85%, but I hate coming to your class and not giving 100%. You know, like I hate like not really like jumping as high as I can, or like trying to push myself to like really like punch as hard. You know, I just don't like going into any like in-person class and not giving 100%. So I paid for that, you know?
Right.
So I'm really
what I was about to say is that, I mean, for me, it's about my doll hairs. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, my doll hairs, I'm showing up.
Yeah. So I mean, I pay for that. And so I'm doing that. And then just I do feel a little sluggish in comparison to week 6 for week 8. So I've been wearing I talked about it. I reviewed it with Jesse on my little snippets that I do on the off weeks from this podcast, brands you should know. But I've been wearing my Agoji pants, and they're like resistance leggings. 1, I'm not mad at how they make my butt look. 2, I just forget that I'm wearing them, but I'm actually, you know, walking around essentially with resistance bands on my legs. So every like mundane thing that I do during the day then turns into a small workout. So I've been using those more, and I think that's helping too, to kind of like keep me, if I'm having a rest day, if I'm taking it lighter because of things that are out of my control, that's been really helpful. So, you know, I reviewed a couple of fitness related items. So, you know, if you're curious about some fun fitness trends to try, check out Brands You Should Know. I'll fill you in. But, you know, I'm glad I'm glad I'm back at it. The workout is a stress reliever for me. You know, it's anger management for me. You know, I have to be baby shark do when I come home. I don't get to be angry a lot, you know? So I think, you know, people say that running is like a good outlet because you just kind of like tunnel vision, you zone everything out and you just kind of like clear your head and refresh and kind of let go of whatever was bothering you or was holding you down. And for me, like my cardio workouts and like my training with Lauren and coming to your classes, those are those things for me. So I'm glad to be back into that, because girl, I know I talked to you about this and I know that I posted it. I'm just thinking about it. I'm getting rosy. I know that I posted it and people probably don't know the backstory behind it. But last week I posted a little clip and I was like, oh, I can't keep my hands off my curls. Apparently other people can't either. So I really was missing my workouts because I had reason to need to work some things out.
I don't remember. I was talking to somebody about it the other day, and I was just like, I don't feel the urge. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your hair looks like. I don't care how nice it looks. Like, my immediate bodily reaction is not to touch anybody, especially somebody that ain't my man or ain't me. I don't feel the need to touch nobody's hair. And I just don't understand why people feel like because it looks nice, you need to put your hands in it. You can actually live the rest of your, I am here to PSA. Did you know you can live the rest of your life without touching someone's hair just because it looks nice? Did you know?
So here's the thing. So for people who aren't in the know, I was at work last week. My curls have been living their best life lately. Very proud of them. Hello, girls. And you hear this baby in the background. This is my life. And, a white woman at work said, I love your curls. They're really just so beautiful today. And I take that as a compliment. I don't take that as backhanded, because some days they don't do what I want them to do. So yes, today they are stellar. I agree, and what inevitably follows that, and anytime that anybody's ever touched my hair, right, especially in the workplace, because I feel like it happens a lot in the workplace, they compliment how my hair looks, and then they ask, kind of how do I care for it, right? And I don't mind answering those questions. You can find it on Google, but I'm right here, so okay, maybe that's why. So I don't mind answering those questions. And inevitably, what always happens, a clean 9 out of 10 times, what always happens is I see a hand reach for it, stop, and then say, can I touch it? Like, your instinct was to reach for it without asking me. Then you pause, recognition in your subconscious that is wrong to do. Yet somehow you don't feel awkward enough to stop yourself from then asking to touch my hair. And I struggle myself with, I've always been so quick to protect other people, right? If I were to see somebody like in a work environment and somebody asked to touch their hair, before that person could even answer, I'd be answering for them like, no, you cannot touch their hair. I'm so sorry. No, you can't. But when somebody asks me, especially, and I feel like it's double-edged. So like, if you happen to be somebody in a position of more responsibility, you might feel like it's easier or some sort of pressure, internal pressure, to agree, because you don't want to come off as angry or just that kind of like awkward tension that inevitably comes when you do say no and you're in a leadership position. And so you don't want to give off that vibe that follows you around then, because then they go tell somebody that you wouldn't let them touch your hair and you didn't understand. It was just, you just thought it was pretty, but then also the flip side of that is when you're somebody like me, who is not in a position, I mean, I have a position that requires responsibility, but I'm not in a leadership position. And I'm not the lowest person on the totem pole, but I'm down there, and I don't always feel comfortable in the moment saying no, because in my job is to assist others, make things easier for others. That's part of my job description. I actually really, really enjoy my job. But it's almost like a natural instinct for me, though everything inside my body is screaming no, to say, okay. And I don't think it has anything to do with you liking my hair. I don't think it has anything to do with it. If you are 3 years old and you ask if you can touch my hair, it is because you think it's pretty. It is because you think it's pretty. If you were a child and you come up and you touch my hair unknowingly, or you ask me about my hair, can you touch my hair? It is because you think it's pretty. It is completely innocent, devoid of all ignorance. Like they are children. They are in awe of how pretty it looks. When you are an adult, it's curiosity, and I have a problem with that. It either means that you've never seen somebody with hair different than yours, like your environment does not have that, and so it's foreign and exotic to you, and all of this, and one, that's your environment is not diverse. You should fix that. It shouldn't be like such a curious thing to you. Your environment needs to be a little bit more diverse. But then also to the media, I mean, I'm growing up, and I'm sure you know, like just like protective styles and everything, but growing up, I can remember like a shift in just like, even like, I remember when Suave started showing curly girls in their commercials. I was like, well, I had never seen a shampoo commercial where somebody didn't have a fan in their face and straight hair blowing in the wind. I just think it's more so like a lack of diversity, a lack of representation of different hairstyles in the media. And now you're fascinated by it. I don't want to be anybody's fascination. I don't want to be anybody's curiosity. Everything you want to know about the different textures of curly hair, the different protective styles that I may wear, the ways that I condition it and take care of my hair, you can find on Google.
Yep.
Google. And it was Black History Month, and I was just like, okay, really, we didn't learn anything last year.
Furthermore, we are in the middle of a panini, okay? You do not put your don't put your dirty hands on my head, please. Don't do it. I don't know where your hands have been. No. I don't know where your hands have been. Okay. I don't know if you washed your hands when you went to the bathroom. I don't know if you just sneezed in your hands. I don't know any of these things. You shouldn't be touching people regardless. Regardless of whether you're touching their hair, their arm, their elbow, their knees and toes. You shouldn't be touching anybody regardless, because this is a panini. You don't need to be touching my hair. Even if I did say yes.
Yeah.
Don't touch my hair. You should did you forget? Did you forget?
I was thinking about this to myself after the fact, because I always inevitably, if I do cave and say yes, it's coming from a place of like self-preservation, like avoiding a scene, like avoiding any type of backlash that can come with standing up for yourself and saying no. And that's something I got to work on, because I don't want you to touch my hair. I'm not flattered whatsoever. And I don't know how you couldn't read my body language and assess that I'm not flattered, because everybody knows I wear it all right here, right? But somehow you missed that. You missed it still. And I didn't have a mask on, so I don't really know how you missed it, but you missed it. And you continued, and I caved. I caved and I said yes. And I was so upset with myself. But I know I'm not the only person that wishes it in the moment they said no when they want to say no when it comes to things like that. And and people want to say that it's not a big deal, but it's a big deal to me, and it's been happening my entire life. And I was thinking about it as well, about how I can't even recall, I can't even recall ever having witnessed a white woman being asked if somebody could touch their hair, if they've got extensions in. I can see your clip in, and ain't nobody wanting to touch your hair. They've got random colors of streaks in their hair, right? Like sometimes I really think it's beautiful when some of these people have these rainbow ombre situations going on. They've got these low lights, highlights. Oh, it's so beautiful. But never in my life have I thought, I want to touch that. I'm going to ask them if I could touch their hair. But the amount of people that are asked in the Black community about touching their hair, I go all the way down to here with examples of things that I've seen myself, where I've seen people have these conversations. I've seen the awkward Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead. And I've seen the awkward no's, don't touch my hair. And then that flip side where people try and then push it back onto them about how it's not a big deal. And they're turning it into a negative thing. And they were just like, they should be flattered, all of that. So it really like,
it's
the whole day upset about it.
It's the same thing as like you asking me to touch any part of me. Like my hair is still mine. I am actually the owner of it. And I think that I have found over the years when people volunteer themselves to touch your hair, even like someone asking, now it's like, now we're in the realm of like, why do you need to? I don't really understand or relate to what's happening in your brain right now. Yeah. And like, why? That's a different, and that's like one side of it. But the other side of it is that I think until more recently, people were super unaware of their actions and just would reach out and touch your hair. And to me, the root of that is still the same root of a lot of things, even like the N-word and things like that. It's like this sense of ownership that you feel like you have over me and my body, that I am entitled to allow you to touch any part of me. No, I am actually not. And you're not entitled to me. You're not entitled to my hair or any part. This is me. This is mine. Mm-hmm. There are some people who say yes. There's some people who actually genuinely don't have a problem with it. But it's the same thing for me. Like, you don't own my pencil. Don't take my pencil. It's mine. It's this sense of ownership of like, you feeling like you can just reach out and touch my hair without asking me is you feeling like you have ownership over me and my body. And that is not a thing anymore. Yeah. It used to be. It used to be. Okay. But we ain't slaves no more. Okay. We're not doing that. You don't have ownership over me and my body and my hair. And you shouldn't just be reaching out and touching nobody's hair without permission. And it's the same thing as like, you know, the whole N-word thing is like, why do you want to be involved so badly? And it's because throughout history, you know, white people want to feel ownership over everything we do and everything we say and all of the words, even the ones that we own. We have taken ownership of this word that you actually came up with as an insult, but we took ownership of it and we will use it how we see fit going forward. You're not allowed to. Thank you very much. But they get so angry when they can't. It's in the song. Why can't I say it? Why can't I say it? Because you want ownership. Yeah. And you cannot have it in this specific instance, and it gets people all riled up. And so then you start to actually come up with ways to, it's the whole gaslighting effect of like, well, you're being overly sensitive. It's you are the one being overly sensitive. So now they're trying to flip it because you couldn't get the ownership you wanted. So now you're flipping and rubbing it down and being like, well, you're like taking this to a different level, or you're making it something that's not, or you're overreacting, or you're being sensitive. No, let's address this. Right. Why do you want to do it so bad? Why does it get under your skin that we say you can't do it?
Yeah.
It's really a hot diggity mess. But I just thought that in 2021, I thought that in 2021, we would not still be having these conversations.
No, you know, and I try not to get discouraged, right? Because there was so much information poured out in 2020, right? And so many people did genuinely have like a light bulb go off or a pair of rose-colored glasses taken off, where now they are trying to have these conversations, where they do want the constructive criticism, where they do want to do their own learning, where they are using the Google, right? But as many of those people that are coming out of the woodwork, right, and trying to improve the environment around them, there's equal parts amount of people that are still doing the same shit. I said it, the same shit that's been going on for years. And sometimes, we've talked about this before when different events have happened, you know, and sometimes I just don't even, I'm like, I want to be surprised. I want to be shocked. I want to be disappointed, but that's nothing new. I want something new. Like I will want to see longevity in some of some of the things that seem to kind of like take off, but don't really seem to have like a lasting grip on anything, you know? And so you think, okay, yeah, like it's Black History Month and I'm excited, and look at all this great like entertainment that's coming out. Look at these great speeches that are being had. Look at this great content on social media. It's so uplifting. Like it's so great. And then somebody will come and do something that slaps you in the face and reminds you that we haven't really come as far as we thought we had, and all that knowledge that is spilled out is still glazing right over a lot of people's heads, going right around the ears, not even bothering to go in one ear and out the other. Because if you can't remember to not touch somebody, how are we going to get past that, which seems like such a small thing, right? Don't touch somebody. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't ask to touch somebody. If you have to ask to touch somebody, maybe you shouldn't be touching somebody.
Right. If
right.
You have to ask the question, then you really shouldn't be asking the question. Like, if that makes any sense, like if you have to ask, you shouldn't be asking.
Yeah. And it's just so, it's just such a realism, right? Like I don't want to say that I'm being, you know, negative, Debbie Downer about the situation. I want to be optimistic. However, like I can't be unrealistic. Like, yes, there was a lot of good that came out of just kind of like this awakening that a lot of people were going through in 2020 when it came to racial injustice. However, not much has changed. And I mean, touching the hair is like the smallest of the pot of that. I mean, I think I texted you about it, but I was at work when I was reading about the 3 boys in Indiana. Like, this is, maybe it was like dusk, but it's like in the daytime, right? The 3 boys, like, this is still happening so abruptly in our faces without a care in the world of the repercussions, because of that ownership that white people feel over Black bodies. And so if you don't know what we're talking about a week ago in, I think Fort Wayne, Indiana, there was 3 boys that were at a gas station, and inside the gas station they had a small altercation. I don't know too many details about it, just verbal, just like a verbal altercation with an older, these are high school kids, right, with an older white male. They go out to their car. The white male goes out to their car. I'm gonna give him a name. I don't know his name. Don't need to know his name. I know the boys' names. Those are the important factors here. He goes out, gets into his truck, grabs a gun, walks over to their car and lights it up. The driver, not fully unconscious, tries to drive out of the gas station to get away. This all caught on camera. Tries to drive away. This man, because he's going at a snail's pace. He's hanging on for dear life. You know, tries to drive away. This man proceeds to continue to walk with this car, shooting into this car until he believes that all 3 are dead. He then walks very casually to his truck and drives away. 2 out of the 3 boys died, and another one is in the hospital, had extensive surgeries, is going to be a very, very tough recovery. It's not even 100% that he's going to have a full recovery, but he did survive in that sense. And the man was arrested. But I mean, this is Indiana at a gas station, you know, in the middle of the day, late evening, whatever. It's just disheartening, you know, because for all the joy that we feel around just being us, and then you watch the news and all the hype, you know, there's so many people that unrealistically put all of their eggs into Biden's basket, right? There's so many people that unrealistically put all of their faith in these Generation Z. I said generation, the whole word. I said the whole word. These Gen Z people who are having some sort of awakening right now and are wanting to and are traveling into this world of activism and all of that, there's just so much work than that. Like there's so much more that needs to be done than that. And it's going to take so much more time. There's no quick fix for things that are as deep rooted as that. Like I'm not even surprised anymore when these things happen. But I'm always sad.
Yeah. I mean, I think when these things happen, it's one of those moments, it's always like a sobering moment. And I think that I wish there was more empathy across just like in the world in general. But I wish there was more empathy for Black and brown people walking through this world, you know, and this country, because we've almost become, in the US at least, become super desensitized to these things when they happen. But we're still very much expected to show up the same exact way, even when we might have been bawling and in tears the second before you saw us. We're expected to still like just show up and not be angry, not be sad, not be frustrated, not be mourning the loss of yet another few Black bodies. Like it's jarring every time, and I'm like, I don't think I will ever not be sad when these things happen. But I think the part that breaks my heart the most is like the lack of empathy when they happen, is like the lack of the returning to regularly scheduled program every single time. That's the part that for me probably breaks my heart the most. Yeah. It's like when these things happen, is just like the silence from the people who say things like, well, if they just weren't being disrespectful, right? When they say these, like they give excuses to the person who committed the crime, right? But then here it is where it's a situation where it's like somebody was just angry. He was just angry. He just acted out of pure anger and evil nature. Mm-hmm. Where y'all?
Yeah.
I'm listening, but I don't hear anything, you know? We should be afraid. Like people it's like this demonizing of all Black people. We should be afraid of them, clutching your purses and your pearls, like when Black people come around or whatever be the case. And it's like, but when these things happen, we're not the ones doing them. You know, I'm like, I should be clutching my pearls and my purse and I should be walking around with a bulletproof vest when I'm around white people, because what the heck? Yeah. It's so heartbreaking. But then, you know, even going back to like, you know, microaggressions and touching people's hair, all of these things are things that we are carrying with us through our day-to-day. Yes, every single person is different, and different people have different sources of joy. I draw mine from the Lord Jesus Christ, and that is literally the only reason why I can still show up every day and get stuff done the way that I need to get stuff done. But the amount of things that are behind the regular mundane day-to-day things that we have to do, in that moment, you had 100 conversations in your mind about the person asking to touch your hair / already being en route to touch your hair, right? In addition to that, you had to figure out how to respond in a way that was still respectable in the workplace. In addition to that, you had to figure out a way to respond in a way that you didn't just look like another angry Black woman. In addition to that, you had to figure out how to say something just in the right way to where she's also still educated. And like, do I really want to fight this battle right now? And so that's why I have no problem when people are like, sure, fine, whatever, because there's so much happening in your brain at that moment, right? like we show up to work and it's like something goes down. I was just crying 2 seconds ago because I had a microaggression that happened to me. I had to go to the bathroom and cry about it. And now I'm hearing about more Black bodies being killed in the street, and only the Lord knows what justice is going to look like for that situation. But you want me to show up to your dusty Zoom call and come off my camera? See, these are the things. These are the things that I'm just like, when I talk about people getting sensitive over the word privilege, I will talk about it until the cows come home, because no one is going to convince me that when somebody like no one's going to convince me. No one's going to convince me that it's not a real thing. It's a real thing. And just the fact that we're even having this conversation right now, the energy that we spend on these things, the energy that we spend trying to compartmentalize what's going on so that we can show up and do our jobs and get stuff done. Okay. The all of that energy is energy that could be spent somewhere else if these things were happening every time we blink our eyes, but they are. And but if we don't show up the way that we do, we're angry.
Right.
We have an attitude.
Right.
We're sensitive. We're too emotional. We're all of these things under the sun. And it's like, but do you understand? Do you understand what I just went through mentally to not cold cock your mind for putting your hands on my head? Do you understand what just happened? Do you understand?
No, but see, that is the privilege. That is in essence the privilege. No, they have absolutely no understanding.
They're able to just walk around the world and like the issues that, and I'm not saying that people don't have issues and things that happen to them or things that happen in their community or things that happen in their families. What I'm saying is that they already happen. Those things already happen to us. And in addition to that, there's a whole nother group of things that come along with being from really an ethnic group, okay, of like, that is not white,
right?
Okay, because every single one of them have a thing, you know, like people asking a woman about her hijab and like having all these conversations, just like extra things that are being carried that other people are not that other people are not carrying. And the privilege of also being able to return to regularly scheduled programming and not literally send yourself into a near depression every 10 minutes because you remember that you have a little brother out in the world, stopping at gas stations all the time, driving his car, minding his business, working his job, who is one of the sweetest humans on this earth. But he could be the next one that just because somebody is angry or just because somebody has a disagreement or just because somebody don't like the way he look, could be the next one. You know, it's like constant in addition to regular day life, just trying to be out here paying people bills and living life, you know. I can't. And so when I saw that story, you know, it's like you really have to figure out a way to just keep going. And it's really hard. And it's really hard because there's an impending like anxiety of like, are these boys going to get justice? You know? And it's like, at this point, the system has proven itself time and time again to not actually be able to live up to the standard that it claims for itself. So no, I lie. It's actually living up to the exact standard of which it was made for. But you know, we keep calling for reform and they keep, you know, people keep saying it's coming. And I'm like, how many of these things need to happen before we actually see justice come? And so that's the part where I'm losing hope, that like these things happen where it's like, if this is plain as day, he needs to be behind bars and he needs to be behind bars for the rest of his life. Period. Okay. So, but then so much trash has happened that I'm like, it's sad that there's even a possibility that it won't happen. There'll be some excuse.
Well, so I also didn't see a lot of media coverage on this particular story. The 3 boys' names are Josh, Andy, and Jalen. One of the men who lost their life, one of the boys that lost their life, has a small child. You know, the man that shot them did get arrested. I think I was slightly surprised that there wasn't more coverage. I feel like if I did not follow Sean King on Instagram, then I would not have known. because I don't watch the local Indiana news. But if this is news to you, the hashtag, if you want to see the upcomings with the trial and see if this man is held accountable, because just because he's behind bars right now does not mean that he'll get the sentences that he deserves. The hashtag is justice, the number 4, and then the word 3. So justice for 3. You know, I'd like to say like you that would be the case, because it seems very black and white to me. It seems very clear as day what type of sentencing this man should get. However, we know the system is not designed to actually protect Black people, or protect any people rather. That's just not what it was built on, except for protecting themselves. So we'll see how that case turns out. I don't think that there's like a court date set for it. And I mean, we've got that. And then couple that with George Floyd's trial is going to be starting this month as well. It's just a lot of opportunity to be further disappointed. And also, without being negative, there is an opportunity for some people to step up and do what should be done and set that precedent that this is just not the conditions to which we're going to be following anymore. Like, we're not going to be letting these people have a pass. So we'll see how that goes. You know, it's going to be a heavy month, but it's going to be a joyous month. Can't take my joy. Can nobody take it. And when I need happy places, I've talked about this before. I've curated my feed to show me, to keep me informed, but to also bring me joy, right? And if you haven't done so, I highly recommend that, because a lot of people mindlessly scroll and you do take that in. And so if you're looking for an account to mindlessly scroll through, Pigtails makes me happy. Every time I see some sort of like, one of those cupcakes, makes me happy. Pigtails.
Something. So I have like a special place in my heart for Cake Tales, because I have been able to benefit from Cake Tales deliciousness for years and years, most of my life, if you will, most of my adult life, if you will. And I'm so glad that the world is getting to experience it. So here it is. My matron of honor, okay, Mrs. Actually, she's married.
She married.
Mrs. Shatayla herself, okay? She has a wonderful business called Cake Tales by Shatayla. She actually makes alcohol-infused desserts. You can get it virgin too if you want. If you want to be a lame, that's totally fine, okay? But like super creative flavors, and figuring out how to infuse desserts with alcohol in an artistic way, in a way that it's not overpowering and you're not even tasting it, is like an art that she has actually mastered. So she makes cupcakes, she makes cakes, she makes pretty much any dessert actually, and it's always scrumptious. Now, this is coming from someone who is actually not a cake person. I don't like cake, never have. And so I feel like Shatayla has made it her life mission to make me cakes that I actually want and eat. Yeah. And so for my bridal shower, she actually specifically was like, what do you want? Because she knows how picky I am. And I was like, listen, okay? I want it to be Reese's. That's all I know. Is that I want it to be chocolate and peanut butter, because I know I'll eat a cake that's chocolate and peanut butter. And when I tell you that she took what I said and just like, she like one-upped what I was thinking 1,000%, okay? It was beautiful. If you have not seen it, go follow Cake Tales, but also look for the Reese's cake that she did for my bridal shower. It's currently on my story. I'm going to post it on my page as well, because it's just beautiful and it needs to be seen.
I salivated. Like, I saw it in my mouth, my whole mouth. I was like,
I still got some pieces of it in the fridge, because I was like, oh, this is not going to waste. So I took it with me. Okay. That cake was, when I was telling her, I was like, girl, decadent is not even the word. Like, right. There needs to be another word that means decadent squared, because it was so good. You couldn't taste it. It was alcohol infused. Also, she put like Reese's Pieces on the top. I was like, before we cut the cake, I could get my little fix because I was just like picking it and like popping them back. It was so good, so well done, and so is everything that she does. So follow Cake Tales by
Follow her. That is our shout out for this week. Is Cake Tales by Shatayla. I'm excited. I know she did a great job for you. She's doing my desserts for the rehearsal dinner, and I just gave her free reign. I trust her. I gave her free reign. I said, this is John's favorite drink. This is my favorite drink, and she's gonna try and emulate that into something that fits both of our personalities. So there'll be 2 dessert options for y'all to choose from. So that is our shout out for this week. What else do you got going on? Like, what do you have upcoming?
Upcoming content, not the usual Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and get ready with me at Miss Asha 19 on both TikTok and Instagram. Tuesdays and Thursdays, always about comedy and foolishness, really and truly, as all I can call it at this point. But you can catch me posting every day. We are working on some couples content, some covers, if you will. No timeline on that yet because we were dealing with two very, very busy people who are also planning a wedding. So we will get it to you though. We will get it to you. It's coming, still coming. What about you, Kiki?
I mean, I've got a lot going on this month behind the scenes. So, I mean, I'm obviously going to be keeping everybody in the loop with my fitness journey. It keeps me accountable to share that. Definitely going to have some more reviews coming up of brands you should know. And just, I really feel like I've had good responses from people helping me pick out my outfits. And also I'm kind of indecisive when it comes to certain things. So it's been helpful to me. So I will definitely, John and I have tried to implement a weekly date night, whether we are going out or we are staying in, and I fully intend on getting dressed for those. So anticipate, if you follow me on Instagram, that you will be helping me pick out that outfit because I can never choose. But I'm also going to be taking a lot of videos and photos that I will be able to share with you at the end of March about the behind the scenes of curating, coordinating, and pulling off a bridal shower. Can't share any of that now, because
definitely can't.
Right? But if you don't follow us already, please do. Our Instagrams are here. And please also subscribe to our YouTubes if you would like to watch the video. We are on Spotify and all other major podcast platforms if you want to give us a listen on your morning commute. And we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye.